Well, switching gears now, the system is broken. It's one thing people on all sides of the immigration debate actually agree on, and a subject President Barack Obama spoke about today at American University, not too far from where we are here in Washington, D.C. But when will it get fixed? Many in the country voted for President Obama because he said the issue would be resolved by now, and clearly it's not. Well, joining me now from our studio in Los Angeles, social justice educator and community organizer, Ron Gochez. Mr. Gochez, I want to talk about the president's speech today. In the midst of the oil spill, financial reform, two wars, the president spoke for about a half hour about the importance of not just kicking the can down the road as far as immigration reform. Do you think that this speech today illustrated that this issue still is on his radar?
Well, I think what this illustrates today is the fact that he's feeling the pressure of our community that we're demanding immigration reform in this year. And we understand that there's a lot of very important issues that are happening, like the oil spill and the wars and whatnot in the economy. But he has to understand, as a country, that nearly 12 million people are living in the shadows and are being terrorized on a daily basis in this country, and their rights are being violated, their human rights are being violated. Every single day at the border, right now in the summertime, about 2 to 3 people die trying to cross that border to come here to work. So we understand there's lots of issues going on, but we also see that today President Obama spoke because of the pressure that our community and that our movement is putting upon him and the Democratic Party. And it's important that we know that, because we know that if it wasn't for the pressure and the marches and the boycotts in Arizona and all the organizing that we're doing at a national level, President Obama would not have spoken about immigration today. And
I want to go really quick to a July 2008 speech that then candidate Obama gave while on the campaign trail. Take a listen.
We'll make it a top priority in my first year as president, not only because we have an obligation to secure our borders and get control of who comes in and out of our country, not only because we have to crack down on employers who are abusing undocumented immigrants instead of hiring citizens, but because we have to finally bring undocumented immigrants out of the shadows. It is time we did that.
I think the key part of this speech, looking back, is in the first year of my presidency. What is your reaction to this?
Most definitely. We knew that he spoke the magic words, he wanted the Latino vote, and he got it. But at the same time now, we have to hold President Obama and the Democratic Party accountable, because he said that he would do it in the first year, and that first year has long expired. So what we're saying is that we demand immigration reform this year. It cannot be next year. This is not a political hot potato that they can play around with. These are real lives. These are real people. These are my students who come in crying to my classroom because their moms were deported. I mean, this is a real issue that we feel that has to be taken care of immediately.
Well, I want to talk about this. I think sometimes people forget just how big this issue is. I mean, we think about Congressman Joe Wilson shouting out, "You lie," at President Obama when he was giving a health care speech. We have the birther movement, people in the United States who think that their own president is an immigrant. Even Prime Minister Gordon Brown, he was shown calling a woman a bigot before the election there, and she was asking him about immigrants. So I just wanted to give a little bit of perspective about how big this issue actually is. I mean, what do you think about this?
Well, the issue is big for us here, especially in Southern California and in the Southwest, because we recognize that this land is indigenous land. This whole country is indigenous land. And we know that the people that they now call illegal immigrants are, in fact, the people who have been here for thousands of years, before the Mayflower, before all of that. So it's a massive issue for millions of people. And if you like going to the supermarkets and buying, your groceries, your vegetables, your fruits, that is thanks to the labor of immigrant people. If you like having a home that's nicely built, an office building that's clean all the time, you can thank immigrant labor. We're the kind of people that we take care of your kids or the kids of America before we even take care of our own kids. So this is something that affects millions of people. This is something that cannot be ignored anymore. So that's where we're seeing it. And we're seeing the xenophobia in this country right now. And I think the state and the system itself has done an excellent job of confusing people with this whole economic crisis. And they're using us as a scapegoat to really blind the people of what's really going on. You cannot blame this catastrophic fall of the economy on immigrants, but they're trying to do that so that the American people can point the finger at us and not at the real culprit, and that's corporate America or capitalism itself. And we see what's happening with the banks that continue to suck up the money of Americans. We see what's happening, that they have money for the wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. They have monies for more border patrol. They have their money. There's tons of money, but it's what they're using it on. So we think that we, as the immigrant community and the American community in general, need to realize this, that they're pitting us against each other to really blind us from what's really going on, and that's the sacking of America and our resources by the ultra elite that continue to enrich themselves, while we, the immigrants, people of color, or even white America, is also feeling it and feeling the hunger every single day.
Mr. Gochez, I want to pause right here and show you a place that we found in the heart of Hollywood, not far from where you are, among the glitz and glamour. It's a cultural center where people look to people like Che Guevara and Pancho Villa, revolutionaries of the past, to try to find solutions for the future. RT's Ramon Galindo has this story.
Sunny and smoggy Los Angeles. It's known for glitz and glamour, where what you wear and what you drive is a top priority to many. But just a few miles from the towering skyscrapers of downtown LA sits a tiny cultural center where the seeds of revolution are being planted. The center is named after Mexican revolutionary Francisco Villa, a man who was once hunted by the U.S., but still considered a hero among Mexicans. The walls here are decorated with foreign revolutionaries like Ho Chi Minh and Che Guevara.
Che Guevara did fight against dictatorships, right? He did do that. And if you're against dictatorships, then you support somebody like Che Guevara. As controversial figure as Che Guevara was, he's not controversial for people of this community. And if they want to express that, then they should be able to express that.
High school teacher Jose Lara is one of the most recognizable activists in this community.
And I'm here today with a couple of students who are about to go on the bus for some of the freedom rides that we're doing over to Arizona to protest the racist and outrageous laws that have been passing on through there.
A popular YouTube video shows his loud call to protest Arizona's immigration law. In his classroom, just across the street from the cultural center, students don't just learn what's taught in school textbooks, but they gain a worldwide perspective, even when it's critical of the system.
The people on these murals are meant to signify great social change. And to many young people, figures like Che Guevara have become heroes.
We're talking about these figures who did revolutionary change. That's something that we talk about inside the classroom. Well, what we're seeing, especially in the Latino community here in the United States, is we're seeing a resurgence of outright political, cultural, social oppression.
He pushes equal rights of all people, of all colors, and suggests that aspects of socialism might help accomplish that. Lara's passion for activism began in college, and it stems from the informal education he received from books that weren't being taught in the classroom. To him, the route to revolution begins with organizing. The message is loud and clear with some of his students, especially when their neighborhood is littered with signs of gangs and extreme poverty.
You either organize or, you're going to die, because if you don't organize against what's oppressing us in the community, sooner or later, what's oppressing you is going to kill you.
Revolution always starts in the hearts and minds of people.
Hearts and minds that have some very large figures to look up to. In Los Angeles, Ramon Galindo, RT.
Just real briefly, Mr. Gochez, I want to know from you, will it take a revolution from your end, from Latino activists, immigration activists, to actually get something accomplished? What will it take to actually get something done here?
Well, look, that's the culture center that we have in South Central LA, and we're very proud of it. And I think it shows the black and brown community that we represent there. And what it's going to take, organizing, a lot of organizing. And we're human rights organizers, and we're going to defend our community, and we'll continue to do so by organizing, whether it be marches or protests, community forums, press conferences, anything to denounce the current attacks against our people. You asked me if it's going to take a revolution. I think history will tell that. The reason why we have people on our walls, such as Bunchy Carter, or whether it be an Adelita from Mexico,
All right, Mr. Gochez, I'm going to have to cut you off. We are out of time here.